now I'm wondering if Arsenal can not only step up on offense, but defense.
I definitely think so. Arsenal is an all-around talented player.
And right out of the gate, you can see Joe Freshen is actually rocking the NRG decal.
Threw me for a loop. I was like, hang on.
So he is blue team, just an NRG fan.
Understandably so.
Arsenal is going to send that back to his own corner. See Joe Freshness creeping up. Nose Dude missing his challenge. Joe will send that to the corner. Sosa out to the middle. Joe has a shot, but he's blocked by AXB.
Nice job from AXB. Said the only way you're getting this around me is if you put it off the wall, just like Space Station did. Literally the exact same play on the other end. Arsenal goes for the pass.
And you can see even there, Nose Dude opting to get the boost and turn left. Perhaps the better call would have been to try to challenge that ball before it bounced back out. He might have thought it was going up the wall.
Yeah, very possible as well.
But regardless, SSG off those two bounces will be in the lead. Now another chance, typical racing to that one. Nose Dude beating out one defender, goes for the center ball. AXB quickly to that one, shutting it down.
Absolutely. Wonderful read from AXB as well. Definitely could have been the start of something pretty. Nose Dude forced to punch it off the wall, but Arsenal just demoed the back line, and yes, the net's wide open because of it.
And now SSG getting their second off of this play. Nose Dude trying to clear it out, and we see the demo. Nose Dude followed the ball out, but you're right, Achieves. That demo, that was it. Once that player was demoed and Nose Dude went for the ball off the wall, no one was back. And 100% of the time, you're going to get scored on in that situation.
Absolutely. And Space Station Gaming, they really haven't had to work too hard. It's just capitalizing on the opportunities presented.
And Space Station Gaming was a team that had so much hype in the last season, even going into the last week of league play. It seemed like they were going to have it on lock.
They really are an offensive firepower team that came out of the rival series, and that was something that was one of the biggest weaknesses of a lot of rival series teams. It took them a little bit to get the offense going at the RLCS level, and off the bat, Space Station had that.
And this is like the poster team for NA rival series.
Yeah,
right here. Maybe aside from Rogue, who now has Kronovi, but these guys, all players consisting of rival series rosters that had to fight their way into the RLCS. Sosa sending this into the corner. AXB with the stop. Joe Freshness dodged that bump from AXB. You saw AXB going for it.
A lot of bumps attempted by Linked Up as well, trying to get right in the face of Space Station in front of their net. But finally, the pressure has to back off and grab boost, and Arsenal on a free dribble out to find some space.
And you saw how much space they had. They were Linked Up was giving them the whole field, it seemed like. And now the demo coming out. No one back. Arsenal puts this one in. And Space Station now up by 3 with just about the half game point.
And you can't really blame Nose Dude. This is the product of what happens when you get put on the 1-on-2 with somebody in front of the ball carrier. I mean, you got to try and make the best defensive stand you can, but it's real hard when you're trying to play that shadow defense and someone's bearing down on you.
So 2 demos resulting in immediate goals for Space Station.
I believe all 3 have been open nets from Space Station.
Yeah, it was that one play where Nose Dude let it bounce off the corner, and then they passed off the back. The double tap from Nose Dude gets Linked Up on the board.
That's a pretty one to get things going in the right direction. A nice catch here and a beautiful follow through. AXB definitely not able to figure out where that ball was headed towards the backboard, and a quality finish from Nose Dude.
That was nasty. Josette would be proud.
Yes, he would.
The Fennec on display. And quickly off the kickoff, Arsenal forced to make that save. So that one standout play from Nose Dude. We'll see if Joe Freshness or Sosa can step up and make a play like that as well.
Another open
dribble
net.
flick. And Sipical gets his second of the game, just beating out the defense. And we've seen this so much. Just a wide open net here.
That is just a great catch, though, from Sipical. Joe Freshness did realize he was too far forward as soon as he realized nobody was going to be able to go challenge that ball at the midfield line. Tried to go back. And, you know, that's the danger Do you give the space and let them get whatever dribble they want, or do you try and force them to make a mistake and maybe win the challenge? A lot of people opt for the aggressive option, and a lot of the times it ends up working, but sometimes you get outplayed.
And that dunk went right back to Sosa, who was in net. He'll shoot it down. AXB with the touch. Joe Freshness just bullying his way through. He had a low boost. He saw his teammate in the middle, but didn't have enough resources to get it to him. Joe Freshness, a long clear. Arsenal with the stop. It'll go back to AXB.
A big miss, though, actually lets Linked Up stay on the offensive half, though. Pass into the middle. Nose Dude figuring out how he wants to go for it. No boost for Arsenal and bailed out. Typical great defense off the backboard.
And SSG has just been in complete control of this game. The one double tap from Nose Dude was all that really Linked Up has had to show for themselves. Ooh. But as I say it, the quick counterattack, Nose Dude to Sosa. Nose Dude coming off the back wall, getting that wave dash, getting the speed, and setting Sosa up for success.
And that little hesitation from Sosa as well to let that ball travel, force the defender to stay in the net and show his hand, see which way he cuts, and shot it to the opposite side. Great command there from Sosa on the finish.
So SSG, they can't sleep on Linked Up. That counterattack play, just what the doctor ordered. Sipical, trying to get that towards net. He dunks it past, winning that challenge and slamming it into the net.
Product of Sosa getting caught too far forward. He must challenge this ball. He cannot allow Sipical to cut back in. He just has to hope he wins it.
Yeah, and I mean, Sipical, he just was in better position.
The perfect spot.
He started his flip later, so he continued to power through, you know, when the defender's flip was all over. Now another shot, gonna find the back of the net, unless Joe gets back. He does. Had that shot at a little more power.
Definitely
could have been the 6th goal.
And still, not even letting up for Space Station Gaming. Up by 3 goals, 10 seconds. Still pressuring, going for bumps. Why not?
You can see Sipical just abusing Sosa. And now the final seconds tick away. Sipical gonna try to touch that by Joe Freshness, who gets the pass off the backboard.
AXB's got Arsenal. Sosa's done having fun. Let's go to game 2.
Space Station absolutely dominating. Multiple demos resulting in open nets. You can tell that these guys putting in the practice, because they looked very solid. They had just towered over Linked Up in game 1.
And to be fair, open net might be a bit of a misnomer. A lot of times Linked Up did have somebody in position to make a challenge. It's just there was no contingency plan. So to be fair, Linked Up was caught out of position a couple times. They were forced into a rough spot on defense, and then it was just a simple matter really for Space Station to beat that last defender and give them an open net. So the problem for Linked Up to me is understanding who's winning the ball in midfield, and you gotta make sure you got a backup play.
And on that play right there, you saw, you know, Nose Dude turning away from the ball. He had to hop on that, prevent that bounce out into the middle.
And again, there's that demo. They've got a guy there, but it's only one, and it's just too easy to beat.
And it seems like, you know, recently after some of the updates, demoing, you know, it seems like you can demo a little bit easier now.
I don't know about easier, but then again, I never really do much bumping. I tend to miss.
Well, that's your fault.
I get bumped, so.
That is your fault. Demos, you know, I love doing demos. It's probably one of my favorite parts about Rocket League.
They work. Nothing
completely delete a player from the field for 3 seconds. They spawn, especially someone who just gets boost. They pick up 100 boost, you demo them, they respawn with 1/3 of their boost tank.
That does feel real good. And there's nothing quite like being able to play red card Rocket League and get away with it.
So game 2, we'll see what Space Station will bring this time against Linked Up. Linked Up, they did have 2 nice goals. The double tap from Nose Dude, and then the quick counterattack. Nose Dude wave dashing off the wall to set up Sosa, who had that little hesitation. So we'll see if Linked Up can clean up their positioning, dodge those demos, and make game 2 a bit closer.
What?
And Arsenal off the pass from AXB.
All right, so first things first. AXB back in his own half already made a great read on the ball. Second, got the dunk. Third, how did Arsenal even make it all the way over to that ball? That was so fast across the net. but
the perfect pass from AXB. He was going for this double tap right on the wall. He just slams into the ball and feeds it to Arsenal, who's now going for the double tap, and he doesn't make connection. And now Joe with the dribble passes over to Sosa, who puts this one in. The immediate response from Linked Up.
And you absolutely needed that. Great demo on the ball carrier and making sure you get command. And unfortunate for Space Station, they spawn on the same side and they can't go back and cover the net. And a beautiful pass from Joe Freshness.
And I love that angle. Strange to stranger, the observer doing wonders.
Great guy.
Nose Dude going for the center. Typical runs out of boost. Nose Dude will put this off the backboard. AXB flicks that to the side. Sosa. And now Joe Freshness. The backboard was failed. Or they didn't deny it. They tried and they failed. And then Joe Freshness just had an easy line on this ball.
Yeah, just missing the clear off the board. And that is the power of it. You make a mistake on their backboard, it bounces off. Well, now you're really in trouble because you know a strong shot's coming at you. And Joe Freshness will deliver number 2 for Linked Up.
And those bounce shots.
Oh, you're joking.
Deadly.
You're joking. Oh, my goodness. Typical. Get it right back.
And again, just a challenge win right off the ceiling. You know,
this game's easy,
we've had a few of these goals today. We have had a few of these goals today where players just go for the challenge and either pinch back, or pinches off the wall, pitches off the ceiling.
And if you're
it just happens sometimes. It feels bad.
If you're on Linked Up, that is definitely a goal that grinds your gears. You know, you approached the challenge, you gave it all you had. It wasn't a bad idea or anything, no mistakes. It's just the challenge went just wrong enough.
I mean, it's just a result when you fail to flip into the ball and your opponent is barreling in like that. It's just going to launch off your car straight up. So especially in your own half, you really want to make sure you're flipping into the challenge. Now the ball downfield.
AXB actually thinking he could give space. Unfortunately, has really allowed a lot of pressure here from Linked Up, and follow-up's a bit slow to come through, and they find the recovery clear.
Typical. Lobbing this one down. And Linked Up, you know, cleaning up their gameplay quite a bit from game 1. The infield pass shut down by Nose Dude.
Very nice job trying to dig that ball out of the corner from Space Station Gaming. Very easy to fall into the habit of just rolling it around those corners and going straight across goal mouth. Much more powerful if you're able to push it out towards the middle of the pitch into the top of the box.
From that point, you can be deadly. So many options on where to go. AXB using that handbrake, going for the flick, but Sosa gets a piece of the ball. Pass to Nose Dude. Nose Dude couldn't get that shot on target. Typical. Going for an air dribble. Attempting the fake, but Sosa had it read. Now Arsenal. Challenged by Nose. Joe Freshness with a key block there. And Sosa preventing that attack from developing for SSG.
And AXB really had to take great care of that ball, as Sosa was definitely right in his face and said, you cannot afford to make a mistake here because we'll put one in the net. And Joe Freshness applying pressure, floating towards the middle, and an easy stop for AXB. And a demo, actually. This could get tight for SSG here.
And we saw demos work quite well for Space Station in game 1. That clear going right to the middle. Sosa. That touch so important. Taking Arsenal out. And Arsenal on his rotation out. Takes Nose Dude and blows him up.
It's a big demo as well, because Sipical was going to let that ball travel. And had that demo not come through, Sipical would have been under a lot more pressure there. So really, it never hurts to go for the demo if you've got the opportunity for it. It'll open a gap for your teammate to have at least a little bit more space and not be under so much pressure in some awkward situations.
Yeah, that's the best time to demo is when you're rotating out. Always keeping your eyes peeled, looking to see if you can surprise a player, demo him from behind on your rotation back.
Oh, there's the demo in the net, and that'll be a goal. AXB crossbar and in, 3-2.
And that one again from a distance. And another demo on the back. Space Station has just been making these demos work for him.
Absolutely. I mean, the physical play, you mentioned it just a few moments before it happened, actually. And it really hasn't stopped since this series started.
You know, 3 or 4 goals where they have just had a well-timed demo followed up by a strong shot towards net.
Yep.
We'll see how Linked Up responds to that game plan. Under a minute left for Linked Up to tie this. Typical. A 1v1 situation versus Joe. Joe Freshness gets the stop. Sosa misses his challenge. Arsenal pops it over Joe.
Oh, AXB definitely going to steal that ball away, but a nice bump allows Linked Up to at least have time to handle this push from Space Station.
AXB puts it across field. Nose dude just hits it back. Lobbed shot by Arsenal off the backboard. Joe with the reach. Follow-up from AXB. Nobody's back. And the insurance goal, the nail in the coffin, whatever you want to call it. 17 seconds left. Space Station up by 2. It seems like they've got game 2 in the bag.
Yeah, just a nice read from AXB out of the midfield. Well aware of where the clear's headed. Positioned himself beautifully. Gave himself a scoring opportunity because Linked Up again, having to scramble around the pitch a little bit. Leave another open one. And indeed, Insurance with 14 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time to just waste. And go in to game 3 with a 2-0 lead.
And Linked Up, they started this game strong, but they continue to give up goals that you just can't let through. They have to start watching for those demos. And you can see, you know, a great little bump there to end it.
Yeah, well done, AXB. You're a monster. But a solid game number 2 from Space Station. It really did start off wonderfully for Linked Up with Joe Freshness and Sosa linking up at that pass. But unfortunately, again, it really was the same strat for Space Station. They just seem a little bit faster to those balls out of the midfield. Just wonderful pressure being applied, and then Linked Up get left in a 2-on-1, or sometimes a demo in the back line comes through, and that's it.
You know, you got to wonder if Space Station watches Dr. Disrespect, because they certainly have momentum and violence.
Momentum and violence for sure. But, you know, you got to give credit to a team like Space Station that's able to pull off this strat. Because, you know, I believe it was Bull Sand and Lotus. Lotus also having to contend a lot with physical play. And they were able to fend off a lot of bumps and still make strong clears on the ball. And having the ability to be aware of what's coming at you and get out of the way and still play some tough defense is really hard. And you see what happens if you can't dodge those demos.
So offensively, Linked Up showing some promise. It's just on the defense where things seem to be giving them troubles. Just the positioning, the awareness. You have to start dodging those demos. We've seen it in games 1 and 2.
You can't make the stops if you're not there.
Space Station has Linked Up in their crosshairs. We'll see if Linked Up can make some adjustments. Arsenal goes for the backboard play. Nose dude up to Sosa. Sosa off the backboard. Typical there and waiting. AXB with that challenge. Nose dude also getting dunked on by Sipical, and you can see Joe Freshness trying to bump Arsenal in the air. Arsenal doesn't care, and he gets the shot.
Heck of an effort from Joe Freshness. Sipical with a big challenge win, and definitely Joe Freshness just trying to get in his face, make the shot as difficult as possible. He knew he was never going to make it to that ball to actually tip it to safety, but he had to try.
The equivalent of, you know, you're trying to defend someone who has a wide open, a wide open three-point shot. You just run at him, waving your hands, hoping for the best.
And he tried, but well composed from Arsenal to find the back.
Nerves of steel. Joe Freshness will put that up off the ceiling. Nose dude centers to Sosa. AXB cuts the play off. Sipical come in to help. Sipical driving all around the ball.
Really making him think about whether he's actually going to cut it back or go for a demo.
He was zigging and zagging right there.
It's scary to watch sometimes if you don't know what's happening, and pinged off the crossbar. Linked Up, dodge a bullet, and will keep the deficit at 1 back the other way, and AXB into his own corner.
Ball kicks out into the middle. Nose dude. First touch. We see the demo from Sosa. With that first touch from Nose dude, the ball got away from him.
Just a little strong.
Needed a little more finesse. But it was the right idea, taking a page out of Space Station's book. Use the demo to clear the path. Then you got to get that shot on target right away.
This is actually a little scary for Space Station. Pressure applied, backboard bounce, and nobody there for the follow-up. Arsenal has a free clear all the way down to the other side.
Sipical with the center. Sosa first to it. Couldn't flick it past Arsenal. Now AXB, center ball. Demo on Nose Dude. Backboard pass. Joe Freshness with the backflip on accident. Shot coming in. Nose Dude gets the save. Another shot saved by Joe Freshness. And linked up, they survive.
That ball actually got a lot more scary because Sosa kind of gave up on the play. I don't even think he realized that his teammate was where his teammate got demoed on the field. So I think he thought he had somebody behind him when he really didn't. It allowed Space Station a quality opportunity. Nice defense, though, to still keep the deficit at 1, but the offense has really dried up a little bit here for Linked Up.
Now back-to-back saves, and the defense was where they were struggling in the first 2 games.
2 shots to 5 currently. Space Station with the lead in that category.
Typical. Gonna chase down his own hit. Gets that boost steal away from Joe Freshness. Joe, booming clear. Hit down by Sipical at the midfield. Follow-up from Arsenal. He couldn't make the shot. And Sosa gets the save. Now a flick from Joe. Up in the air to Nose Dude. Going for the double. Just bounces off the backboard. Arsenal taking his time.
You can see Sosa really trying to apply pressure if he knows he can make it to a challenge. He's really trying to force Space Station to make a bad challenge, maybe just beat them to the ball, and that's what Linked Up absolutely needs, because that's what Space Station is doing to them.
And it seems like Space Station is just so well composed, not panicking whatsoever. They're spacing, working well. They're just trying to wear down Linked Up. Another shot coming in. Joe Freshness makes the save. Sosa downfield. Picks up the full boost at midfield. Backboard pass. It's popped up in the air. Nose Dude centers it. Going for another pass, but Arsenal breaks up the play.
Great faith from Sosa. He knows his teams needed to score. Arsenal's not able to find a 2-tap. But the support from Linked Up seems to be there. It's just Space Station always on top of things.
For a last-second team, it seems like Linked Up is holding their own quite well against this RLCS roster. Another demo, and we've seen that play used over and over again. And you know, it's like when you're playing a sports game against your friend and they pick the same play over and over and it still works. What do you do?
I mean, there's nothing you can do sometimes. It just works to perfection. Sometimes, every time. And right now, Space Station can do no wrong if they go for that.
Space Station Gaming, the demo clear on the back line to immediate shot. Now Joe, attempting to win that challenge. Can't do it. Now center ball to Sipical. Sipical's shot will go wide.
That's a more traditional play that you'd expect to see, and it went wide.
Approaching the final 30 seconds of gameplay. Nose Dude couldn't get the stop. He's out of boost. Challenge win by AXB. Joe Freshness with a long clear. And Space Station has just been smothering everything that Linked Up's tried to get started. Nose Dude.
Even Nose Dude just trying to back pass that ball. Somebody from Space Station right behind him. Forces you to play perfect under pressure. And that's what makes it so tough to play defense against Space Station.
A good effort from Sosa keeps that ball out. But Space Station Gaming, a clean